Finish it! I finished it! Yeah! Yeah! Call me Jesus!
I'm not aware of alcohol consumption on campus. The Church of the Brethren founded La Verne College. The connection is not as strong.
Really don't deal with the judicial issues related to alcohol and students, so.
No, I really don't know anything about the student life and alcohol consumption or partying. And it's a dry campus.
Henry Kurtz, the first proponent of higher education in the Church of the Brethren, he said, we need something more than teachers of spelling, reading, and so forth for our children.
While the University of La Verne was growing in size so dramatically, the Church of the Brethren as a denomination across the country was actually losing members. And over that same time span that the university grew, the church decreased probably by 30%. So it became smaller, the university became larger.
There's fewer faculty and staff that come from the Brethren tradition. There's many fewer students that are Church of the Brethren. Right now we have probably less than 1% within our traditional undergraduate.
There was a point where the university started teaching at military bases, and at that point there became a strong rift with the Church of the Brethren, because the Brethren believe in peace and anti-militarism.
Come from good solid homes and are themselves young people of sufficiently deep conviction.
We're a pacifist denomination. We're one of the historic peace churches.
But more than that, with sort of losing mandatory chapel, I would imagine that it is because of the diversity of the region and the diversity of the students that were coming that make people sit through a religious ceremony that is not their own. That contradicts what the Brethren believe in as well.
But most important, a weekly chapel service at which attendance is required.
It was founded by a man by the name of I.W. Lord. So he bought about 340 acres of land, and in 1887 had a gigantic land sale. And at the end of that day, we had the town of Lordsburg. Unfortunately, by the time he finished the hotel, there weren't anybody coming out to buy land. And the hotel sat empty for a number of years. One of the agents responsible for selling land heard of a group called the German Baptist Brethren, and felt that if he could get them out here, they might be interested in it. And he said, why don't you buy the hotel and you can make it into a college.
Oh shit, that's a lot of beer. Wait, is this cool? Here it is. Wow. Oh! Zamboni! Yeah, you gotta back him up. You gotta back him up, guys. Don't do that.
A couple of my friends had taken me to T. Phillips, and all actuality, 3 of us had fake IDs and the only one of us was 21. So we showed up and sat down, just ordered 2 pints of a dark beer. After that, did a round of Irish car bombs, did a round of Jaeger bombs, and this was probably 6 in the afternoon. We went back to the dorms.
I got back to the dorms at school, and I went to my friend's room, and there was a couple people already in there, and they had a
handle of Jaeger, 1.75 milliliters.
And they had already been taking shots and making mixed drinks.
That was when we proceeded to take Jaeger bombs after Jaeger bombs after Jaeger bombs.
So everyone was getting drunk, and then they decided to move
To a party at the Claremont colleges. We went, and that's when things kind of started to get out of control.
School officially opened in the fall of 1891 with a total enrollment of 76 students.
The school was set up by the Brethren and run as an institution for the children of the people who backed it, and they were mostly Church of the Brethren. In the 1970s, though, we had a college president by the name of Leila Newcomer, who felt that in order for the college to expand, it would have to become a university. It would have to become more attractive to other people rather than just Church of the Brethren. And they then decided to break the connection with the Church of the Brethren. And finally, after he left, another president came in and was able to continue the college, now the University of La Verne.
I think more members of the Church of the Brethren today probably use alcohol than did 30 or 40 years ago. I know very many good brethren who will take a drink now and then. As the church has liberalized in the use of alcohol by a number of its members, the university is following in those footsteps and beginning to allow some use of alcohol on the campus.
I'm officially drunk, and this is awesome. Cheers, mother.
They had maybe at this point like 7 different shots. They started drinking some more.
Immediately when I got there, I did a wine bong with a full bottle of wine. One of our friends ended up walking off into campus and getting lost. At one point, they had to call campus security and almost the police to go find her. Another one of my friends ended up getting hammered and then takes the bottle and breaks it all over this person's dorm.
And there were some disputes going on. Some punches were thrown.
And they asked him to leave. They were about to kick him out. Things were getting high tension. So in 2 separate cars, they actually took me and this kid because at that point I was gone. I had no control left over.
Everyone was kind of like to the point where like they're starting to pass out. Other people trying to hook up with people, hook up with passed out people.
We ended up all getting back. I puked out the inside lining of my stomach. We ended up shutting down on the way home, completely blacked out. You'd think it ended there, but it didn't.
For us, the policies are in place. So it's supposed to be a dry campus, and that's what we've been instructed, and our policies are a reflection of that.
We do have incidents where students have been drinking. Subject woke up and was, let me say, the food contents of this person's stomach was all over the bed because of the fact that they were drinking and drinking to an excess.
I do know that people do drink in the halls. I know at times that we have, or my staff has seen them.
If I myself was to encounter it, what I would do is go to the room, knock on the door, announce my presence. Usually at that time, people start trying to move things around and hurry up and get things out of the way, throw things out the window.
There's a whole conduct process that starts with documentation.
A disciplinary hearing will be held because of what was observed.
I know that ASUOV sent out a survey in regards to changing the alcohol policy. I think because the policies are being changed already, in a sense, because they've already created the exceptions. I think that's where ASUOV steps in and says, well, if you're going to change it for part of the campus, why just that one part?
Have you ever had an incident where the RA was participating in alcohol paraphernalia?
Can we stop it now for a second?
I feel so.
We forgot about our friend.
About 4 of us went back and the rest stayed to find out where he went.
So we checked up on her, and but the door was locked, so we had to call an RA to open the door. And luckily the RA didn't open, when they opened the door, they didn't like look inside because there was a bunch of passed out people in there.
Fell through my closet door.
We went in there and like the closet door was completely fallen through, like on the ground. There's blankets and everything everywhere. And she had pissed herself, like on the ground. We started noticing that she was like shivering. So then we got a little scared. We thought that she might have alcohol poisoning. So we had to take her out of the room and we sit her down in the lounge and waited for my friend to drive his car up to the parking lot so we can take her to the ER. And then she'd thrown up. So we had to go in the bathrooms and get like wet paper towels and clean up the throw up. So it's me, and 2 other my friends carrying her into the car. We like put all the seats down, like just kind of threw her to the back of the car, and we went to the ER.
I don't remember anything. I ended up sitting on a couch and I was barely responsive at all.
Everyone just kind of smelled like piss and vomit. We checked her in and like we stayed there the entire night.
I have seen students killed in automobile accidents either because they had been drinking too much or the other driver had been drinking too much. And I think particularly of a young co-ed who was killed right here in La Verne by a drunk driver. And that's what we need to prevent with our alcohol policies.
When we're talking about the future of the University of La Verne, we want to identify the La Verne experience, different activities, different majors. If you said, where does alcohol fit into that distinguishing element? Well, we don't want alcohol to distinguish us from other campuses. Maybe being a dry campus would distinguish us from other campuses. I'm not sure. So that should be part of our discussion.
We need Christian teachers, God-fearing men who love the Bible and will inspire our children with love for the same, and thus make them good citizens, good neighbors, and better still, good Christians.
Drink responsibly. Now, tell them. No, don't do it. Ready? Ready? Cheers, 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 cheers.